Last year, I rescued a Shar Pei, and I had initially met him when he was a puppy. He was a patient at the vet hospital that I worked at, and I met him when he was only like 8 weeks old. And then I would see him for his puppy visits and then like his annual visits. And he would constantly get posted in the neighborhood Facebook groups because he would get out of his front yard and people would post him and say, "Who is this dog?" And I would comment and say, "He's a patient here. You can bring him here and we'll contact his mom." And one of the last times that he got out, the finder who gave him back to the owner was told that she doesn't want him anymore and she wouldn't take him to the shelter. She wasn't going to try and contact rescues. All I know was that she was apparently moving or something and she didn't want to take him with her. So yeah, it was up to this very nice woman named Jody, like for the first 2 months, to try and find him a rescue that would take him, or someone like a foster or adopter, but she didn't have any luck and we were just really crunched for time. Jody, the woman that found him that day, was sending me pictures of what he looked like, and that's when I learned that he was living his life on the front porch. And mind you, we live in an area that it gets really cold during the winter. Like, it snows, and this dog is not made to be outside during all types of weather. So, impulsively, like, I didn't even really think it through that well because I have a very reactive rescue dog of my own. So there was no way that I could bring Tubby back to my house. And I reached out to the owner and I asked her, would you surrender him to me and I'll try and find him a home? Because I thought it was going to be super easy to take him to the shelter and then they would take care of him. She said yes, go grab him, he's on the front porch. I said okay. I went to go pick him up. She was not even home. She didn't say goodbye to him. A neighbor came out and said goodbye to him and was like, I was really hoping somebody would take him because he's in rough shape. And I was faced with a scared, broken dog who was basically blind because he has entropion, which means his eyelashes grow in toward his corneas and they scratch them. And he had severe skin and eye and ear infections, and was not neutered. So I immediately took him back to the vet that I work at. They did an exam, they diagnosed all of his problems, we started him on treatments, and then I set up boarding for him. And I worked for 2 months finding fosters, trying to find him an adopter. I paid for, and I also had a GoFundMe to take care of all of his medical needs. It was the most emotional and stressful time of my life because I would be heartbroken when I would have to drop him off for boarding at the end of every day. I would take him out on the parkway or to a field and we would hang out all day. But then I'd have to take him back at night. And then he finally got the procedures done that he needed. And I had some really amazing people step up to be like short-term fosters for him while I tried to figure out where I was going to keep him. Because I was just struggling. Like, I couldn't bring him home with me. He now has great vision. And he was neutered, all of his infections were fixed, he came out of his shell, and we definitely, developed a bond, a very strong bond built on trust and love, and it was so hard. When I dropped him off at his adopter's house, I thought about him every minute of every day after that because I was so nervous. It took him a while to get used to her other dogs, but she has other Shar Peis, and you guys, I keep in touch with her. I get pictures of him like every week. She doesn't live very far from me, but for his sake, for him to form that same trusting and loving bond with his new family, I know that I shouldn't see him in person. And that kills me, but it was, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I have my own dog. I love my own dog, but like there was something about Tubby, like knowing what he looked like as a baby, seeing how deteriorated he was, and like the conditions that he was in when I rescued him. Like when I went to pick him up, she wasn't even there. Like I can't imagine giving up my dog, first of all, and then also not being there to say goodbye and to pack up his things. I took that disgusting, like green, scratchy rope. I took that, and his neighbor helped me get him in the car, and that was it. That was all he had. And so his Amazon wish list got filled, and people in the community really stepped up. And it was also at this time that I learned that shelters are so full that there's a wait list to surrender dogs, and we wouldn't have had an appointment to surrender him for, I think they said 4 months. So yeah, I wanted to make this video and put it on YouTube so that I had somewhere to keep these videos that mean so much to me. I couldn't have done this rescue without the people in my community, without Stella's Sanctuary, who helped share his flyer when I was trying to find him an adoptive family. And they were able to help me connect with someone that lives close by that has other Shar-Peis, and like she's amazing, like amazing. And I'm just so grateful for this dog and that we were able to save him.